Ron.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say it the first time I said Aaron?
Because it's pronounced Aaron?
You done messed up, Aaron!
Aaron is here. Welcome back, everyone, for more SPTV, where every day is a great day not to be in a cult. Oh my God, you guys, I'm looking at the live chat. So many people have some very specific ideas about what this video is about. This is a lighthearted, fun little video we're doing this Sunday afternoon. I guess it is Sunday evening. Guys, I lost 120,000 YouTube subscribers. Can you guys believe that? Now, I know you're like, what are you talking about? You have the exact same number of subscribers right now as you did yesterday. Yeah, I didn't mean that I lost them all last night or today. It's actually over the life of my channel. And I wanted to show you this. There's a reason why I'm showing you this. We're having a little bit of this video is going to be a combination of fun little YouTube analytics business chat and some very exciting and serious updates on what's happening in the world of Scientology, what's happening with city and state officials in California. What is happening now as a result of what we did in Los Angeles earlier this week, and some other super exciting news. This is going to be a relatively short video, guys, 20-30 minutes at the most. Okay, so before I show you the subscribers, I'll show you the first thing that actually prompted me was the inspiration for me to just do this video today in the first place. A couple of my favorite channels. One of them is a channel that covers the rocket race, like the Blue Origin, SpaceX, some other companies as well. It's called What About Now, so that one channel, What About Now, and my other favorite channel, a new favorite, is the Diary of a CEO. And these are very successful channels. And one of the things these guys always promote in their videos is what percentage of their regular viewers are not subscribed to their channel. And I was like, I want to check that out. So check out, this is the number that the Diary of a CEO guy pulls from. So it says, this is how much of your watch time comes from people who are subscribed versus people who are not subscribed. And you can see exactly 1/3 of the people who regularly watch my channel are not subscribed. That's amazing. I don't even know how that works, because I subscribe to a lot of channels. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I wouldn't even know whether there was a video for me to watch if it was a channel that I wasn't subscribed to. And I think one of the things that happens is that if you start watching a certain channel's videos or a certain type of video, YouTube will automatically push you those videos that it thinks you want to watch, whether you're subscribed or not. It's funny, being subscribed to the channel to any channel is really just one of many indicators that YouTube uses to decide whether to push a video out to you on your recommended feed or your home feed. Of course, if you go to your subscriptions feed, you're going to see the latest uploads from the channels you actually subscribe to. But it's funny, from a YouTube perspective, I've seen channels that have millions of subscribers, and they have a channel or a video that gets like 10,000 views. And you go, how is that even possible? And it's because just because you're subscribed to a channel doesn't mean YouTube is going to push those videos to you, especially if you're subscribed to a ton of channels. And I'll tell you, we're kind of just BSing around here. Well, back in the height and the heat of the Danny Masterson trial, when I would go live, and because I'm always looking at my analytics, I'm always looking at my minute-to-minute, hour-to-hour analytics. When I would go live, I'd be having a certain number of views per minute. As soon as I finished the live stream, the views would explode, because what was happening is YouTube got the message that the video was over, and now it was pushing out that video to the feeds of tens of thousands of people. And that's because those videos were just getting tons of engagement. Now, when I finish a live stream, it'll just go flat, and then slowly get less and less and less, which is typical. Anyway, I'm just kind of telling you an anecdote that that indicates just because you're subscribed to a channel doesn't mean those videos are getting pushed out to you. And I think it's interesting that a full third of the people that watch my channel are not subscribed. So if you're a regular viewer of my channel and you like what I do here and you want to support the channel, considering hitting that subscribe button. Okay, so now let's go back to the gained lost subscribers. Check this out, guys. I currently have about 236,000 subscribers. How did I get to that number? I have, over the life of the channel, gained 359,000 subscribers, and I have lost 122,000 subscribers. Guys, I did not even know YouTube was capable of knowing that number. There was another channel that I watch called vidIQ, and it's kind of like a YouTube. They do videos specifically about doing YouTube videos and YouTube strategy and analytics and all that kind of stuff. And they recently hit 2 million subscribers. And they did a video that basically said, congratulations on losing 1 million subscribers. And in the video, they explained that on the path to hitting 2 million subscribers, they actually gained 3 million subscribers, but lost 1 million along the way. And I think it's interesting, if you're a YouTube creator, to keep in mind that you are constantly churning your subscriber base. You're losing viewers, you're gaining new viewers, and that if you choose to take your channel in a new direction, I guess particularly gradually, not drastically, you are eventually, as long as you keep doing what you want to do and growing the way that you want to grow, you are over time going to get the audience that likes what you do. You'll lose the people who don't like where you're going. You'll gain new subscribers who do like where you're going. And I think that's a healthy thing to keep in mind, because audience capture is one of the most dangerous and defeating things on a platform like YouTube. Not being able to say what you want to say or be who you want to be because you're afraid you're going to turn off your audience, turn away your audience, lose your subscribers, lose your viewers. That's the worst thing, especially since what is most successful on YouTube is authenticity, openness, connection. So it's healthy to keep in mind. You're not carrying or keeping the same viewers and the same subscribers on your whole trip. Now, if we take the vidIQ numbers, they said basically had a 50% churn, right? They to get to 2 million, they had to on the process of getting to 2 million, they lost 1 million. I think it's interesting to note that I have almost the exact same churn. I have 236. 50% of that would be 118. And I'm right there in that ballpark. I think it's interesting to know that as a YouTube creator, you can expect roughly a constant 50% churn in your subscribers. I mean, I think that's amazing to keep in mind. If someone, because on any normal day, if someone told you you're going to lose half your subscribers, you'd be like, oh no, what am I doing wrong? But if you're like, that's just the nature of the beast. Some people are going to like what you're doing and then get bored of it, or they're going to like what you're doing and then things are going to change. And that's just the way it is, folks. That is just the way it is. That is the extent of the YouTube analytics portion of today's show. I want to talk about the really exciting stuff. First of all, a reminder to everybody in the Los Angeles area, Anthony Robert D'Amato Jr.'s next court date is going to be on March 4th. That is in 2 days. There's still a chance that I will fly back to LA just for the pleasure of seeing Zero Dark Tony sent to jail with $500,000 bail. But even if I happen not to be there, there will be plenty of other folks there as well. I heard Tony's going to bring armed security this time. My pearls, armed security. You're not going to need security guards when the bailiffs are dragging your ass off to jail. So everybody stay tuned for that. If I am not there, I'll certainly still be covering it. So definitely stay tuned for that. Okay, guys, what has happened in the wake of the speeches that we gave at the LAPD commissioners meeting? I can tell you this: meetings have been scheduled. Meetings have been scheduled with city and state law enforcement officials on the subject of Scientology and CANRA violations. Just so that I do not get it wrong, let me make sure I want to explain to you what CANRA stands for. CANRA Law California. The California Child Abuse and Neglect Reporting Act. Keep in mind, this piece of legislation is not about outlawing child abuse. It's about outlawing the covering up of child abuse. And it puts into law who are mandatory reporters mandatory reporters. And in 1997, clergy members in California were made mandatory reporters. That's kind of a problem for Scientology, because in Scientology, it is a direct violation of L. Ron Hubbard policy to report another Scientologist to the authorities at any time for any reason, including the worst types of child abuse. How can Scientology possibly stay in compliance with the California Child Abuse and Neglect Reporting Act when reporting child abuse to the civil authorities is a suppressive act in Scientology? Spoiler alert, they can't. And you combine that with Scientology's penchant for documenting every single crime any one of its members ever commits in meticulous detail in writing: time, place, form an event, what happened, where did it happen, who was there, who knew about it, who found out, who did you tell? All of this. Who would have thought that this would come back to bite Scientology in the butt one day? Okay, so meetings have been scheduled. City officials, city law enforcement officials, state law enforcement officials. All I can say is attorneys will be present at the meetings. And this opens the door to a little bit of a more in-depth discussion about what exactly was that report that Serge read aloud at the LAPD commissioners meeting. Where the hell did it come from? And why are we only hearing about this report now? Real quick, for any of you who do not know which report I'm talking about, or even what I'm talking about, on my channel, in the videos tab, guys, most of the videos on my channel that you guys watch are in the live tab. Please go to the videos tab. You will find this video right here, dropping the hammer on Scientology, LAPD commission. For whatever reason, the YouTube gods have blessed this video today, and it is getting a ridiculous amount of views right now. I have absolutely no idea why it decided to explode today, but maybe you guys, when this video is done, if you haven't already seen that video, go ahead and watch it. It's 9 minutes long. It's Jenna Miscavige's speech, Serge Delmar's speech, and my speech. Serge Delmar's speech was reading aloud a report that had been written by a Scientologist, and it details some of the most horrific types of child abuse that can be committed. And it also calls out by name Greg Scroy, Scientologist pedophile. And you might go, okay, where'd this come from? Why now? What's the deal? So Serge is the one that read the report out loud. But in Jenna's speech, she said something that I'm not sure everyone quite caught, which is that this report came to light in the process of the Danny Masterson investigation. Okay, the Danny Masterson investigation. First of all, he's already been in prison for over a year now. The investigation was going on for years and years and years and years and years. How is it just coming up now? These hard drives, well, obviously the report came from a hard drive, but multiple hard drives were turned over to law enforcement many years ago as a part of the Danny Masterson investigation. The people who turned over those hard drives weren't even aware of everything that was on those hard drives. They were just turned over to law enforcement for law enforcement to go through and see what was on these hard drives. Only 2 weeks ago, in the course of other litigation against Scientology, did the person or persons who had originally turned over the hard drives, only 2 weeks ago, was that person then granted the ability to go through what was on these hard drives? I'm just looking at my notes here, guys. That's right. That's right. It was only 2 weeks ago this report was discovered for the first time by the person or persons engaging in litigation against Scientology. who knows if the LAPD actually, I mean, like there's so many questions, right? So did the LAPD go through the drives? Did the LAPD go through the drives and only search for keywords? Did the LAPD, for some reason, not go through every document on the drive? Did they not understand what this document said? Is it because maybe the document doesn't pertain directly to Danny Masterson that they didn't do anything about it? Was it outside the jurisdiction of the investigation? I got no idea. There's a lot of questions as far as the LAPD side of how come they didn't bring this report to anyone's attention. All that being said, once this report came to light 2 weeks ago and was discovered for the first time, that is why it was so important to get this document out publicly in a way that could not just be ignored, could not be lost, could not be the victim of, the bureaucratic shuffle. Oops, what report? The LAPD has a history of losing things connected to Scientology and Danny Masterson. That is why this report was made public to the people it was made public to in the way that it was. And it's also why it was important to get mainstream media involved. It's why the LA Times was there at the hearing. It's why they were informed about what was going to be read so that they could be there and report on it. All of this, everything that we're talking about continues to relate to the California Child Abuse and Neglect Reporting Act. Okay. And so it is my privilege and my honor to be the first one to announce to all of you that the Alex Gibney, Danny Masterson documentary is officially a go. It is moving forward. It is greenlit. It is happening. It is getting ready to go into production. And you can see from the things that have been said and the things that have been explained that the entire Danny Masterson affair, all of his crimes, all of the cover-up, all of this, and the report that was made public this week, there's a common thread throughout all of this of Scientology systemically violating the California Child Abuse and Neglect Reporting Act. And in my opinion, it would be very reasonable to expect that the Alex Gibney, Danny Masterson documentary is going to lean into, it's not just Danny Masterson. It's not just Profile of a Predator. How did Danny Masterson become who he is? No, remember, guys, Alex Gibney is the one who did the Going Clear documentary. Alex Gibney knows his Scientology. He's jumping back into the pool on this one. Okay. And so I do believe that it is reasonable to expect that the Alex Gibney, Danny Masterson documentary is going to be hopefully leaning into this angle of all of the various ways in which Scientology systemically systemically and systematically violates the California Child Abuse and Neglect Reporting Act. And guys, this is just an angle of attack that Scientology cannot defend against, in my humble layman's opinion. This is an angle or a vector of attack that Scientology cannot defend against. Guys, there is everything that we're talking about right now regarding Canra and Scientology. The exact same litigation strategy, prosecution strategy is currently taking place against the Mormon Church. Now, guys, this is the Growing Up in Scientology channel. I stay in my lane. This is not a religion bashing channel. I am not religious. I am not a religion apologist, but I tend to stay in my lane because I grew up in Scientology, not these other religions. And so I'm not bashing any religious beliefs. Hell, I like to laugh at Scientology's religious beliefs, but I don't really care about Scientology's religious beliefs. I care about how they destroy families and traffic children. There is currently a boatload of litigation occurring against the Mormon Church in the state of California for exactly what we're talking about Scientology. And a very helpful viewer sent me a link to one of the most recent episodes of the Mormon Stories podcast, where they are talking to one of the lawyers spearheading the litigation against the Mormon Church. To the degree that I can cover specific aspects of that litigation and tie it directly to Scientology, I am going to be doing that. And the reason why I'm even mentioning this is because I know there's a lot of people who hear about when they hear me and others getting very optimistic and excited about Scientology being prosecuted or sued. They like to point out how much influence Scientology really has behind the scenes and in the halls of power, not only in the state of California, but nationwide. And I go, guys, Scientology could only dream of having the amount of power, money, and influence and membership as the Mormon Church. Okay. The Mormon Church loses more money in its couch cushions than Scientology has ever had in its entire existence. The Mormons have their own state. The Scientologists can't even get someone on the city council of the city of Clearwater, Florida. The Mormons have their own senators. Okay. The Scientologists have Grant Cardone. Okay. So if the Mormon Church can come under the type of heat, successfully be prosecuted and litigated for the exact same crimes that Scientology is committing, that's good news for the Scientologists in the world. What is there? Maybe 5 million Mormons in the U.S. There's maybe 15,000 Scientologists in the U.S. Okay. No one's showing up to go to fight for the Church of Scientology. Despite the best wishes of a lot of very wealthy Scientologists who've been donating to members of the current administration and thinking that's going to save some butts. I don't think so. I think Scientology is wait, what's the quote from Top Gun? Your mouth is writing checks that your butt can't cash. Is that the quote, you guys? That sounds a little dicey to me. I don't know if that's the right quote. Okay, let's see. What else? Okay, Canra, I wanted to say that. Okay, I shared that. Oh, guys. Oh, my God, you guys. I had yesterday, I published what is hands down one of my most favorite interviews that I have ever done. The feedback on this interview is some of the best feedback of any interview that I have ever done. I had so much fun talking to Rick Ross. We are absolutely going to be doing more content together. And I just wanted to show this to you guys. If you have not yet had a chance to see my thrilling 2.5-hour interview with Rick Ross, again, you'll find it on my videos tab. See, this is one of those examples where I can already tell YouTube did not actually push this video out to my subscribers. And that's fine. I think part of the algorithm, part of the thing on my channel with YouTube is YouTube has already figured out that the people who watch my video watch live streams. And that's just a mathematical function of the fact that 98% of my videos are live streams. So they're less likely to push out my videos than they are my live streams. But honestly, I would not have imagined that I could have an actual like electrifying, dynamic, fun conversation for 2.5 hours with Rick Ross about Scientology and cults. But it really was so much fun. I haven't even gone back and thrown in timestamps, chapter breaks on this video. I'm going to do that. I'm going to publish segments of the video. I'm going to do live reactions to segments of the video because the feedback on it is just so fun. And Rick Ross is just a real fun guy to talk to. Okay, let's see. Is there anything else I forgot to share? Nope. Let's just go through some of the starred comments and we'll wrap this one up. Sharon Keogh, I was sad for you for a minute. Yeah, no, I didn't lose 120,000. I didn't lose 1,200. I didn't lose 120. They were lifetime numbers. Roro, best clickbait ever. I got here faster than ever when I saw the alert. Chris 10, subscribed and liking videos for years now. Love me some growing up in Scientology. Thank you so much, guys. Lizzie the Witch. Aaron, don't scare us like that. Kay Minkler is a new channel member. Thank you so much. Funny little anecdote. When I was on my flight from Tampa to LA last Sunday, I'm walking onto the flight and I look over to my right, and in the first row of first class is, I thought to myself, that can't be Whitney Cummings. Whitney Cummings, the comedian. Now, Whitney Cummings has a very unique look. And I was like, God damn it, that was Whitney Cummings. I can't even believe this. What is Whitney Cummings doing on this flight? Now, Whitney Cummings has done a ton of Scientology content. She drags Scientology all the time. She dragged Danny Masterson long before other people were dragging Danny Masterson. And I was like, oh my God, I do not have the balls to go up to Whitney Cummings. I feel like a creep walking up to Whitney Cummings. I don't know if I can. So I'm like texting people. I'm like, oh my God, Whitney's on a flight. And they're like, and like I texted Jenna, and Jenna's like, oh my God, I love Whitney. I'd love to talk to her sometime. And I'm like, okay, I can't bring myself to walk up to Whitney Cummings and be like, hi, you don't know me, but I'm this Scientology guy on YouTube. But I was like, but you know what I can do? I can walk up to her and be like, you know who David Miscavige is? Well, his niece, Jenna Miscavige, you know, she said she'd like to come on your podcast sometime. And I'm like, okay, how am I going to, I'm in like row 26. Whitney's in row 1. I'm going to be this big, scary guy chasing down Whitney Cummings in the airport. I'm going to be like tackled by security. I'm like, how is this going to happen? Now, guys, I didn't even have a bag checked, but I was like, you know who I bet does have a bag checked? Whitney Cummings. And on the airplane, I'm like, did Whitney Cummings have a comedy show in Tampa this weekend? She sure as hell did. It was absolutely Whitney Cummings. And I'm like stalking her on Twitter. I'm like, okay, what has she said on Twitter? She even did a video. She had just done a video like 2 days later that it's totally okay to come up to me and say hi in the airport, but don't say, I don't know who you are, but my girlfriend's a big fan of yours. She's like, that's an asshole move. Don't say that to me. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to approach her that way. And I'm like, but I don't have a bag and I'm going to show up. I'm like a full on stalker at this point. Okay. So I go to baggage claim. And what do you know? She is there by herself at baggage claim. And I'm like, holy shit, I cannot approach her by herself. That's like the weirdest thing ever. So I'm like hiding behind a goddamn pillar, waiting to be like, I'm like trying to like figure out, okay, what am I going to say that's not creepy? What am I going to say that's not creepy? And then I'm like, I got it. I had it all sorted out. And I was like, and then I walked out from behind my pillar to go, to go make my approach. And she had already walked up the baggage claim to grab her bag. And I was like, fuck, I lost my chance. And I'm like, I don't dare follow her out of the airport, do I? And I'm like, I do dare. Okay, needless to say, I followed her for a little while before I figured there was absolutely no way to pull this off without looking like a total creep. So long story short, I wasn't able to talk to Whitney Cummings. But Stevie Weeby, if you're out there, Bobby Lee, if you're out there, Whitney, if you're out there, Jenna would like to come on your podcast sometime and talk about Scientology. Oh my God, it was a whole thing for me. Okay, John C. The notification system is totally useless. I never get any alerts of notifications, even if I'm subscribed. The algorithms are not working. It's true. The notifications, it's a total scam. Constance June, I remember those days of the trial. Yes. Mary James, y'all show love to Serge, please. He's taking some heavy fair gaming from a man who shits in a bucket. And his Scientology chat. Yep, guy's just doing as much destruction as he can on his way out of the movement. Good riddance. Constance June, welcome as a new channel member. Jojo, I regularly unsubscribe from channels that I no longer watch. Indeed. Let's see. Xenu Golf Club. Zero Dark Tony, armed security. 3 70-year-old guys with canes. Yes. Sarah Bauman, I believe Street said he would be at the arraignment. I asked him in a live feed after the meeting Aaron is talking about. Yes, Streets should be there. Eric LeVay should also be there. Eric's been doing some really good what is it called? Substack. Some good Substack posts and articles about Zero Dark Tony. And hell, if Streets is there, then I'll do a video with Streets afterwards. But I was also hoping to do a video with Eric LeVay. So one way or the other, we will get it done. Mary James, yep, you want to be a religion, you got to do what is legally required to do as a mandated reporter. Oh, that was the other point that I wanted to make about this. See, when the Roman Catholic Church and the Mormon Church come under fire for this type of stuff, they are capable of making reforms because they are capable of changing church policy, because the church policy about something like what we're talking about did not directly come from Jesus or John Smith. I don't think, don't quote me, guys, but I'm pretty sure John Smith didn't say, by the way, never report child sex abuse to the authorities. The problem is that in Scientology, the order, the policy, the scripture, if you will, about not ever reporting another Scientologist to the civil authorities, which includes the police, for any reason whatsoever, comes from L. Ron Hubbard himself. So how does Scientology go about changing that rule when it wasn't a locally produced rule? It came from Scientology Jesus. Remember, guys, Scientologists don't believe in God. They don't believe in Jesus. They don't believe in any supreme being or any prophet. And Scientology does, they have claimed to the IRS that L. Ron Hubbard policy is sacred scripture that is unalterable. What do you do when your sacred scripture is against the law? I don't know. I guess the fundamentalist LDS church just went to Mexico. So I guess there's always that. Maybe all the Scientologists will just go to Mexico. Sorry, Mexico. Don't blame us. Okay, Adam Carmona. God will probably start selling 20,000 gold. Sorry. Golden Era Productions will probably start selling $20,000 RTC approved shredders. Tim K, great job to the entire team. Jenna, Aaron, Serge, Michael, Audit LA, and Streets LA. CO Bilf. Y'all are killing it. Amazing work. Constance June, so glad Aaron is clarifying they are working behind the scenes to continue what they did last week. Constance June, so glad Aaron explaining all this because someone else said it was all no big deal. Martha Morong, question, are we going to find out who set up the meeting in LA? Yes, I believe you will. Once it's so obvious in the public that it can't be denied, I'll be happy to say it here. I'm just trying not to tell tales out of school. Eunice Swag Pants. Hopefully these actions will be what finally breaks the dam of protection the cult has enjoyed. Sharon Middleton, welcome as a new channel member. And Lena on me, welcome as a new, well, it says, member, congratulations. And thank you for being a member for 10 months. And guys, I've been meaning to give some special thank yous to the channel members. The channel members, it is your guys' support that makes it more possible for me to do what I do here every day. And I thank you so very, very much. All right, guys, that is it for now. Pretty much exactly how much time I wanted to spend. Thank you for hanging out with me, guys. Thank you, as always, to everyone who watches until the very end. And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye.